Welcome to Gothic Homemaking. You may recall that I spent a lot of time reviewing what stores had to offer last Halloween season. Well, while I was at Michael's one day around Halloween, I spotted these white pumpkins, and when I saw 3 of them together, I thought, this could only be one thing. Which brings us to today's question, do you want to build a snowman?
A really evil snowman!
While I was at Michael's, I also picked up some artificial branches for the arms, and some of these miniature top hats for good measure. I wasn't sure what color scheme I was going to go with, so I picked up a variety to choose from. I usually find it really obnoxious when people are thinking about Christmas during Halloween, but for once, I was kind of amused. Back at the lab, I assembled my pumpkins. With a hole saw attachment on my drill, I made a hole in the bottom of the pumpkin that would serve as the head of our snowman. And then I made holes in the others so I could thread a light or a smoke machine through them if I wanted to. Next, I hot glued the 2 bottom pumpkins together. It's easy to see which one of these should be the head, but we have to work on it before we can glue it on. I took the head pumpkin off and I drew a scary face on it. With a cutting wheel attachment on my dremel tool, I cut out the mouth. Next, with a paddle bit on my drill, I made a hole for the nose. I found it was easier to cut out the eyes with an engraving attachment on the Dremel tool. These pumpkins carve very easily. This guy's starting to look a little bit like Jack Skellington. Ha! Next, I grabbed my artificial branches and I cut them down to size. I took them outside and I painted them black. I drilled holes that were the same diameter as the branches and was able to just jam them right in there. Now, snowmen typically have some kind of buttons made of coal. I decided to make those out of plumber's epoxy. I mixed up the plumber's epoxy until it was one uniform color. Then I sculpted my little coal buttons directly onto the snowman. And then with some acrylic paint, I painted them black. Now that's starting to look like something. Snowmen typically have a broom, and I thought a witch broom would be a nice touch. So I took a walk down to Halloween Adventure here in New York City, our local year-round Halloween store. There I found the perfect witch's broom. It was a bit long for my needs, so it will have to be cut down. But with this amazing curl at the end, I was hooked. Next it was off to Kmart to get some of the other things I would need. While they kind of dropped the ball on Halloween, they were in full force for Christmas. From the always excellent Jacqueline Smith collection, I found this icicle ornament which I think would make for the perfect nose. And believe me, I would nose. I found some lovely wired ribbon for the scarf. And there was something in this collection that really inspired me. You're going to see that in a minute. Back at the lab, I cut the icicle down to size and jammed it in his nose hole. Alright, so that ornament assortment, well, I thought these pieces would make for perfect teeth. So I got my Dremel tool and I cut them down to size. I put a little hot glue on them and glued them in place. Now check out that icy grill. Of the top hats, I ultimately decided to go with basic black, so I chose that middle one and I cut the headband off with a scissor. And then I glued it onto the snowman's spooky head. Next, it was time to shorten the broom, and since it was apparently constructed of 2 separate pieces, that made the job a bit easier. Then with my Dremel tool, I cut the bristles part off. Unfortunately, the handle was no longer going to fit snugly in there, so I got a sheet of foam rubber, I cut a strip of it, I put some hot glue on the foam rubber, and I wrapped it around the bottom of the handle. What could possibly go wrong? And now, attaching it to the bristles with a bit more hot glue, it fits perfectly. And now our evil snowman has a broom. Finally, I grabbed the wired ribbon, I cut a strip and folded it in half. And then I wrapped it around the neck of Frightful Frosty over here. And because it has wire inside, you can really tighten it and form it to look like an icy breeze is blowing. And there's our finished evil snowman ready to frighten children off of your snowy lawn. They'll never see Frozen quite the same way again. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed watching this chilling project come together. See you next time here on Gothic Homemaking. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe so that you'll never miss another Gothic Homemaking video right here on The Lair of Voltaire.
Fuck! Fuck.